understand. And for me, you can question me all you want. But if you ask my colleague lawyers, I'll be described as a lawyer's lawyer. So when my colleagues have cases, even as lawyers, they will come and take me as a lawyer.
I don't need to go and ask them. I just listen to your submission and draw a conclusion.
So you should be fine.
That a middle-aged woman deserves to be beaten.
You'll be very fine. Don't worry. You don't need to be. Yes. These things, you don't do it with emotions.
You don't. But you sound emotional. So let's stick to the substance of the issue.
For a long time, and you should be fine. So you'll be fine. Sending you hugs and kisses. You'll be very fine.
So you can take them back. I don't need it.
But the point has to be made. The point has to be made that Akosua does not know or appreciate what a commission of inquiry is. It's as if it's some cliche that has to be repeated.
PENDREAM TV there,
I think that this morning Akosua has clearly demonstrated some obsession with people who work at Jubilee and has gone out to use all sorts of words. I doubt Akosua understands what narcissistic means. And so I'll pardon her for her use of that. And also to caution her that her appreciation of law is not so potent.
I'm not a lawyer. You are the lawyer. And there's a regulation on for your conduct. So if you feel that I am not saying what it is, you can state it. I can look for it specifically for you. Because you are the one who likes to remind us that you're a lawyer. And if you truly are, then you are aware that the rules of professional conduct and etiquette regulates the conduct of lawyers in Ghana. Subsequently, you sat here to endorse thuggery. That's my point.
Are you done?
So I don't need to be well-versed. It's common sense in its application. So you can be a lawyer, but lack it, which can be very detrimental to your own career. So come back to the issue. You've defended thugs and interdicted police. That's a fact.
Are you done now?
Continue.
I think that your appreciation of law and legal matters are not so potent. And so I would urge you not to misapply and misuse words, because you cannot assume that everybody watching doesn't understand. And for me, you can question me all you want. But if you ask my colleague lawyers, I'll be described as a lawyer's lawyer. So when my colleagues have cases, even as lawyers, they will come and take me as a lawyer.
I don't need to go and ask them. I just listen to your submission and draw a conclusion.
So you should be fine.
That a middle-aged woman deserves to be beaten.
You'll be very fine. Don't worry. You don't need to be.
Yes.
These things, you don't do it with emotions.
You don't. But you sound emotional. So let's stick to the substance of the issue.
For a long time, and you should be fine. So you'll be fine. Sending you hugs and kisses. You'll be very fine.
So you can take them back. I don't need it.
But the point has to be made. The point has to be made that Akosua does not know or appreciate what a commission of inquiry is. It's as if it's some cliche that has to be repeated. You don't set up a commission of inquiry because an event occurs. There are very serious reasons why you set up a commission of inquiry. And where you set up a commission of inquiry, you don't do so and make it that by setting up a commission of inquiry, simplicity is an achievement. And so people were killed, people were amputated, people were maimed. And the government's justification is that, although some people died, although some lives were lost, human lives were lost, we set up a commission of inquiry, so pat us on the back. That's not how it works. A commission of inquiry is set up so that when you ascertain the true fact, you would be able to hold people accountable. And so if you set up a commission of inquiry and you have on page 22, government rejecting whether in part or in full the recommendations of that commission of inquiry, then you just wasted the taxpayers' money. Because anybody pursuant to Article 278 can just set up a commission of inquiry. So it is not done for the fun of it. It is not done so that we can have speaking points when we are having very high-level intellectual discourse. And I want to say that I think Akosua was not listening to me. And perhaps if she wants to, if you're on the show with someone like me and you want to rebut, you have to listen to me well. Because even your cameras captured that I said that what happened in Ablekuma North, we must condemn it in no uncertain term. Annie, when you go to court, and like government's white paper would ask or say that we cannot prosecute the one who slapped Sam George because of provocation. You know the first question you will ask, who was the aggressor? And so if any beating occurs, we would ask who was the aggressor?
At this point, the aggressor was those who were beating her.
First sprayed the pepper. The question
Could
that
it be
will
determined
follow,
in court that she would be,
no,
she would have been the aggressor?
Yes, so the question that will follow is whether when you spray pepper, whether the person's reaction is justifiable use of force or is a reasonable use of force. Those discussions we can have another time. But the point has to be made that those who said YAWA so wargone by elections and the violence were just so good, and in the morning woke up to imitate and even make
Why were you
jokes.
taking pictures of me?
Make jokes
There was
out
a
of it.
scandalized look on your face and I wanted to capture it, that's all.
And even make jokes out of it. Cannot all of a sudden have consciences because they lost power or they did not have access to the largesse of power again? That after all, they were not men and women enough, and that their power stemmed from the fact that they had access to national security and they could order them. I want to also say that the video where they say that, oh, these tags were actually organized from Jubilee to go and attack these people, that can also not be true. You come to an election ground very ill prepared, with ill motive, and you see this guy of something Lloyd, who Akosua says was beaten, and the only reason why it did not escalate was because he didn't want to hit back. And did you see the guy's Facebook post the night before the election? GH1 had reported the gentleman, something Lloyd. I'm never able to get his
Nana Lloyd.
Nana Lloyd. So GH1 had reported that Malik Basintale has said that we want this election to be peaceful. But if the NPP comes to say ke, we will say keke. That's the report. Then he shared the post to say that Malik, be careful. Tomorrow you will see or whatever. I mean, to that effect.
Okay, go ahead.
To that effect.
Is that I'm coming, Malik Basintale, and ready for any nonsense from any of you? Okay, I don't know. Yeah,
what is the
he shared.
Yes. What?
No. Okay, so this is a Ghana Web report.
Ghana Web, not GH1.
That's
Ghana Web.
It's Ghana Web. The Ablekuma North rerun. If NDC hears ke from the NPP, will respond keke. That is by Malik.
That is it. That is what he said.
Then he shares.
Yes, he said if NDC hears ke, so if there is no keke, if there is no ke, would there be keke?
But is there a need for that?
No, that is why I'm saying that.
Regulations and etiquette.
That is why I'm saying that when an incident occurs, the first question we'll ask is who is the aggressor? If the two of us have an issue and none of us have thrown the hand, there will be no fight.
But there's no need to
there is
warnings.
There is.
I mean, no one is crying. Nobody is shouting.
And that is why I say that the NPP lacks leadership. When you are going for such an election like that, and we have also been in a synod by-election, and like you have said, talency and all that, you do not go because you know that passions are inflamed. You do not go being the person who would use pepper spray first. That we must also condemn. And while we condemn that, we must also condemn the people who also attack our council. And I'm saying that the difference between us and the NPP is that nobody has come to justify that what happened, we are so proud of it, and whatever. Proud to the 2024 election. Akosua Manu here, kept saying, nobody can intimidate us. Nobody can intimidate us. What happened? What changed? There must be something that may have changed. Why do they all of a sudden feel intimidated then? What could possibly have been the reason?
So was Malik trying to intimidate them?
The reports that you refer to, the Ghana web, have you even spoken to Malik to see whether he said that?
Oh, I saw the video.
You saw the video? Yes. I haven't said. Whatever Malik said, Malik says...
He went into the constituency to campaign.
Yes.
And those were
and Malik says that we
with riders, right?
Yes.
And you see, let me also debunk this assertion that Malik does not move with macho men. Malik has motor riders. And even those ones, he calls them on social media. He has this funny thing he does with
5K men,
5K men. So they go on their own. Nobody is armed. And I mean, even in all these discussions, from the videos which we condemn and we are not proud of, nobody was wielding a gun. Nobody was wielding a weapon except Hawa Kumsin, who was wielding a weapon. And so I'm trying and I'm struggling to understand. And you know what we are being told? Akosua says that, you see, government is so guilty in this. However, the same government, in the person of the Minister of the Interior, called Hawa Kumsin to check up on her. The same government that Akosua said is so complicit. She's the one telling us this morning that Honorable Muntaka called Hawa Kumsin to check up on her.
If you were my lawyer and I was on trial, I'll be in trouble.
So leadership in Parliament.
There's a car that shows the people on there. You're saying that
you said a lot of things.
No, but you just referenced me, so I have to
you
speak up.
You referenced me a number of times, but I kept quiet.
Hey,
so you keep your
you're in trial. The person will just end up in jail.
If you don't have a pen,
I'll speak to it thankfully, and you'll give me the chance.
So how is it that? I mean, for me, I didn't even know this information until she gave it out. But it should tell you the marked difference between the NDC and the NPP. You were even referring to Akosua. The president, Annan, what did he say? He said, "Yet sure will be big kakra." What does that mean?
Etiwa.
In Etiwa. Yet sure will be big kakra. What does that mean? Have you ever heard President Mahama make such a reckless statement in all his life in public service? In fact, President Mahama's greatest criticism, even internally in NDC, is that he's too nice to his political opponent. That the man is so accommodating, that the president we have is not so vindictive. That is the presidency you are enjoying.
You see, this morning, her defense of the thugs, the justification that it was retribution for Howard's checkered history. That was her position. And when she had the opportunity to condemn it, she didn't do so in no uncertain terms. She actually made references. Called out the fact that, again, she's not just a lawyer, she's a lawyer's lawyer. Forgetting that in the video that we saw, if we have, and again, I always credit the audience. You don't need to be a lawyer to apply common sense. The evidence in the video, she said she was the aggressor. Hawa Kumsin was the aggressor. Making it seem that...
Is that if they're investigating,
yes,
they will determine the aggressor.
Under the circumstances, the aggressors moved from the seat of government to ABN. There are videos of them on taking videos, showing themselves as close to the seat of government. It could be that even Muntaka is unaware that those guys were at Jubilee House. It could be. In this case, a commission of inquiry, it doesn't mean that if you say just one event, it is shameful to say the least. Hearing this from a self-styled lawyer who has reminded us repeatedly.
You should go to law school.
Is the deficiency in the language that makes me question it? Because today, people are asking, really, are the things that you said this morning warmongering to say the least? If it makes sense. I'm actually not obsessed with you.
I'm everything you can
I am not. Never. You see, and this is the narcissism and the pettiness I talk about. That she assumes that I want to be like her. Indeed.
You are so upset.
With the collar looking like a crow. But I don't want to get into pettiness this morning because this is often what we experience. Now I'm saying I'm dishing it out to her because it's important that if you tell me, take it back that she said I'm everything that she wants to be, and you are jumping on that, you ignore that. I do not want to be. I do not by any stretch of the imagination want to be here. In your opinion, is an insult. To me, that was an insult. Do you understand? I can never, in any stretch of the imagination. But this morning, when you come and sit here to trivialize an issue, to put blame on a middle-aged woman who was just defending herself, to sit here as a warmonger, equalizing on stuff that happened at ABN because to you it makes sense, and that at YAWA where similar happened. If we condemn it then, we condemn it now. A commission of inquiry is necessary. A commission of inquiry is important. You will not sit here and dismiss all that we've said this morning just under the cover of we now have we've been stripped of power. Why? You thought power was something that we thought we could hang on to forever. Power was for impacts for some of us. It's not to lord it over other people and make them feel any less. So what happened at YAWA? Nobody died at YAWA. Thankfully, nobody also died at APN. But if we are going to continue this tit for tat back and forth, in 3.5 years, you will account for it. Today, the shoe is on one foot. It will come back to you, and the words you said here this morning will come at you. So it's important. It's important that we don't put ourselves in the center of a defense when lives are at stake. That we don't make speaking for the people or even for the government about our person, but we are speaking for the government. So if you come and sit here and you are speaking and you are being condescending, dismissive, and insulting the intelligence of people, you are speaking the minds of people who believe that is how the presidency also feels. So it's not an obsession with Jubilee House, no, because Jubilee House is the seat of government. I can't say how do you call it, castle, or I cannot say another agency. It's Jubilee House that we refer to, and that common sense should not be lost on anybody this morning. So a commission of inquiry, as the Texans have said, there's
is
nothing.
Not using a crutch, what do you call a walking stick?
Yeah, his knee is bandaged. He got knocked up on the knee, so he'll heal.
Okay.
So if we sit
Dr. Bawumia
here,
has visited Nana Lloyd as well.
when we are speaking to issues, we are not speaking to the persons or to individuals who feel that they've arrived. No, we are speaking to issues because electoral violence in this country is troubling. You have videos where people who said we were on the side of the NPP defending them. Etiwa, they mentioned Etiwa, Triponi, Talensi, Akosua, all these things happen. Annie, you are not that young enough to have forgotten. But for some of them, I believe that you were still producing videos or you were a journalist then. So if we are going to move forward, let's condemn it in no uncertain terms. This back and forth saying, how do you come and say that she just if she hadn't sprayed pepper spray, they wouldn't have beaten her? When thugs you don't know, when people you don't know are coming at you, thugs. Did you see the men? Did you see the guy that headbutted her?
They're not size 8 like me.
So these are bulky men. So I'm saying that if you feel that your governance, you are saying it's fresh air, go and see what is happening at the Galamsey site, if that is fresh air to you. If you are going to be socially tone deaf on this issue, we'll remind you. Send the thugs to the Galamsey sites where people are complaining, where investors is always posting. Those are the issues. And don't dismiss important things and trivialize it because it's not about you. It's certainly not about you. When they voted Ghanaians in, it wasn't about you. They believe that the reset you promised is not tacit revenge. It's not resetting the jobs of young people everywhere.
Yes.
My never say PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. Osia dem yopo.